Hello and welcome. This is Alicia, one half of Dee's daughters. Let me find my correct apron right here. I'm running behind as usual. That's always the case. As you're hopping on, please say hello. Let me know you're there. Please sprinkle us out. Let me just get on my secondary device here for comments. Shoot. I just recently changed my password and it's eluding me. There we go. My Face ID wasn't working for some reason. So as you're hopping on, please say hello. Let me just pull this up. I think I actually have to switch over to Dee's. That's C page. Okay, hold on a minute here, girls. I'm on Dee's. Okay, there we gotta go. Okay, there we go. Hi, Bronwyn, how are you? Welcome. Hi, Sherry, how are you? Thank you for sprinkling. We appreciate it. We are gonna do the super cool, my very favorite thing that we've done together, which is this one right here. We're going to work on the snow globe today. So if you order the kit, this is what we'll be working on today. And of course, you know, do your own thing if you want to, but I'm going to show you how I did this one. So if you want to recreate this exact one, you can recreate it. So we're going to get started. Heather did post a list of, ooh, I'm losing some diamond dust. You can see the diamond dust down there at the bottom. Like, you know how the snow settles right there, and I put my hand on it and it kind of came off, and that stuff is killer, man. You find it forever. Oh, I'm so excited you're here, Bronwyn. My Thanksgiving was awesome. I didn't have to do a lot of work for it, so that was even better. Let me just click off my comments here. Now, Heather, her husband surprised her with something tonight, which I know what it is. Heather does not know where she's going. Just what a wonderful thing to do. Anyhow, Heather, you're going to love it. And so she can only be with us part of the time. So we did pre-draw a name, and I will be announcing it at the end. So she's only going to be here for a little while, but our Thanksgivings were great. Although we couldn't be together, we both had a wonderful Thanksgiving. We got a lot of snow, which is not my favorite thing, but I'm over the snow already. It's only been since Thursday and I'm totally done. So as you're hopping on, please say hello and welcome. So this is the snow globe that was sent out, and it was sent out blank and sanded, made from that premium pine, and I bet you're excited. Hi, Donna. Hi, Vicki. And April just texted me before too. If you didn't order this kit and you want to cut your own, you can go ahead and cut your own. Heather might make a PDF at some point maybe of this, but also this would look good on a round too, just like a round. It would be pretty hanging on your door. So, so all kinds of ideas. But hello and welcome. I'm going to angle you down and we are going to get started. And I may have to turn this a couple different ways. Now I did go ahead and I stained both sides with this Jacobian. Oh, maybe I put it away. I was supposed to leave it out. But I used Jacobian Bear water-based stain. So I got mine at Home Depot. So that is what I used. You can use anything you want. Do yours any way you want. This is just what I used. I did one coat and I let it dry. So I'm going to just set that aside. I had all my paints out and everything ready to go this morning. And what I'm going to do is I am going to take the stencil. So this is the stencil we're working with that would have come with your kit, that has the overlays, the windows, the door, the roof. Oh, the tree. There we go, the little tree thing. But it's super cute. So now, mind you, it's been a month since I made this, but I believe what I kind of did, let me get mine to look at. So what I kind of did was I lined it up. We didn't want to go flat, at least I didn't want to go flat with this here. So what I did was I kind of pulled the stencil, you know, no, not so it's going off, but kind of to the top. And then what I did was I drew like a little line, and I want to say I drew it in a chalk pencil. I don't have a chalk pencil, but I'm just going to lightly like kind of draw this here. And you can totally do this. And so here, what I'm going to do is I've got how far down I want it to go, the circle. If you can, I don't know if you can see that line or not on there. I don't have my, it's right here, but basically I just put this here and drew the circle down in here. You know, so it's nesting like it's down in here. And then what I did was I took this and kind of like, kind of flattened it out a little bit from that circle to this top edge here. So, hi Tracy, how are you? So you could do it with a chalk pencil, and I went a little past there. So same here, I want to go about midway and just kind of, and this is just kind of a guideline for me. I want to do a little bit more, just kind of a guideline. And we're going to start out actually doing the blue up here, so the blue of the globe. And I put out, now when I did this before I did the tedious task, I just stained this and I left this blank here. But I figured staining the whole piece would not hurt. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I did take, I really liked this. I have to get some more of this. Sadly, I went to Hobby Lobby and they did not have it, but I'm going to place an order pretty soon. But I use this Deep Midnight Blue. It's a really nice, I think like a dark sky blue, like a dark winter night, not black. It might even be the blue that's on this table right up. It could be. Chances are it might be. So I'm going to put some of this out, and I am going to, I think the one color I forgot to mention on the live, but I'm sure everybody has it, is a white. So I'm going to take a white and put it out too. And this is Deco Arts Warm White, but you can use any white that you have. I don't think I listed that on my You Need This color. And I am going to get, I believe when I did it with my smaller brush, but I am going to use a bigger, this is a 1/2 inch, and it took me forever to fill it in. Hey Bonnie, how are you? Hope everybody had a happy Thanksgiving, you included, Bonnie. I was thinking about your, I think it was king crab legs. So the 1/2 inch is what I'm using, and it is an angle brush. And what I did was I dipped it in some white, so like the toe of it is in white, and then the heel of it is in blue, so it'll look kind of like that. And then I got to keep looking to make sure I have it in the frame there, because I hate when I get out of the frame. I could probably come down just a little bit, and that'll make it closer to you. Okay, so I'm going to just start like this. And I actually think I'm going to dip it in a little bit of water here. So I just dipped it in a little bit of water. And I'm going to get some more white on the toe and blue on the heel. so it flows just a little bit better. And like I said, when I did this the first time, I did not, and I'm just getting it a little damp. So, oops. So the water flows a little better. So you can see how it's kind of blending that white on the top with the blue. So it's making it a little bit lighter at top, and I am getting just a titch of water with my little cup here. I'm just barely dipping the top of it in and then getting, again, a little bit on the toe and the blue on the heel. And I'm just gonna bring it down like this. And that's all I did. I'm gonna get a little bit more. I might have a little bit too much water on it right now. And it just kind of blends it in. And I'm just gonna come down to about here, because of course we're gonna have our snow here and our globe ends here. So again, let's just go towards the end, and I'm gonna need to pick up just a little bit of water to make it flow. And water will make your paint really fluid. And this may look a little bit different this time because it does have that brown underneath it. But I've done things where you have a color, sometimes a complementary color underneath, and it makes it like yellow. I think purple is its complementary color. So if you put purple under a yellow, it kind of shadows it. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Gay. I had a sore throat when I did my live on Tuesday, and I have not felt super great since. So that's all I'm doing. I'm keeping this brush kind of wet, and the top of it, I'm just putting a little bit on the toe, and then the heel, I have the blue. And then I'm gonna start blending down in it. And I did add a little bit, I wanna put a little bit of black out. So I'm gonna put a little bit of black out too. And this is Deco Arts Lamp Black. And there is a post yesterday that had all the colors. I need to poke that open. It's dried or something. My husband's up watching the Cleveland Browns. He's like, well, I think today we can definitely count their playoff. Not that we were ever going to make the playoffs, but sometimes it occasionally happens. Out today. He's like, I can't even hardly watch it. I'm sure Danny's thinking the same thing. But I'm sorry you're not feeling well. That always stinks. So now that I've got this up in the top where it's a little bit lighter and then the blue, I'm going to grab a little bit. I'm going to, again, wet my brush just a little bit, and I'm going to grab a little bit of black on the toe and a little bit of the blue, this midnight blue. And I'm going to start like slip slapping it kind of all over, kind of at the top. Just slip slappy, and it adds a little bit of darkness kind of to that blue, like a little bit of, and then you can just move it around. And that's the only thing I know how to call it, is like slip slappy. And I'm just getting a little bit of black and then a little bit of blue. So you can see how it kind of, like right there, it makes it kind of spooky looking almost. It blends it. And I'm bringing that down, and then as I bring it down, I'm going to add a little bit of white with the blue to the bottom. And you can always get a little bit of water to make it just a little bit, especially up here around this area, to make it just a little bit more fluid and blended. Blendy looking. So I'm getting more black and blue. and just kind of working it in there. So when you do these, everyone's going to look a little different. It's not going to look the same. But it does give it just a little added depth when you do that. And we'll probably come through here with more white and blue. And you're just moving that around there. And as I'm getting lower down here, I'm going to start adding a little bit of white to my blue. Like maybe about halfway to a third down. I know Jeff's like, now I just got to concentrate on Ohio State. I guess I don't follow basketball, but I see people very excited. I guess the Cavs are doing pretty good too. The Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't really care for sports at all, to be honest. But my husband does, so I always want him. So again, I'm going to pick a little bit of that white up, and I'm not rinsing my brush out, and a little bit of the blue, and I'm going to start slip slapping that and bringing it up into the blue and black. And just picking up a little bit of white and blue. And occasionally you might have to dip and get just a little bit of water to make it kind of flow. And you can bring it up in here into this darker sky, like it's getting just a little bit lighter. I'm not happy with this over here. I really had to thin that out. It was very thick. And you can always thin your paint out, like I said, and make it really nice and flowy with just a little bit of water. And I will go back and do another coat up there. You fell. Oh no. Broke your ankle. I'm so sorry. I hope you don't need surgery. That's horrible. And so again, I'm getting a little bit more, and I'm going to bring it kind of up. That's absolutely horrible, Vicki. I'm so sorry. I broke my elbow several years ago, and I did avoid surgery. Thank goodness. But breaking anything is so painful. Until you've broken something, you just don't even know. So I'm going to get my template here and look. And I still need to come down just a little bit over here with the sky. I don't want to come down super. We'll be covering that up with white. Hopefully this won't take as long as I thought it would. When I first did this, the first time it took me a long time because I kept going back and trying to decide what I was going to do. Like I would do something, finding the perfect red, and I should have known that my perfect red is like cranberry. And I'm going to add probably just get this a little bit more up here. And this is very wet. And I went back with a little black, white, and blue towards the top. And I am going to do another ring around the top though. And I think this is probably going to be good, but it's got just a little bit of depth to it because we've added that black and that white. And I just want to make sure, and that's how you can make sure. Oh yeah, crutches hurt your arms so bad. I think I need to bring a little bit more down in here. And just a little bit. And I did stain the side of this ahead of time, but like afterwards you can always paint. I'm not going to waste time doing that today. Just know you can paint the sides. I did paint the sides of this. Well, I probably will paint it because I won't be able to put Galaxy glitter on it, as you can see, if I don't paint it. But this gives it kind of a very nice kind of flowy look. And I am going to wet my brush one more time, I think, and get the toe in the white, and then kind of do this again at the top here, because it kind of, I kind of painted over it. So you could probably do that last. You don't have to do that first. Okay, so I'm going to get just a little bit more water here, and I'm just barely dipping it in there and getting a little water on it, and then kind of brushing it off. And we're just getting around the edge there. And then, of course, we will want to do the sides here, but I still might wait till afterwards and do the sides. Yeah, having a broken bone is no fun. So I want to get just a little bit more water on there, and I'm going to kind of slip slappy just what's left in my brush. I didn't add any more paint, but just kind of moving it around. And once you put like the snowflakes on it and everything else, it looks really pretty. But like I said, it always helps to dip your brush just a little bit. And I'm going to give it a quick dry here. And then we're going to go on to the snow. So we've got our sky there, and even the brown, see how it's kind of like darker on the top? I don't know if you can tell, but it's like the black is a little bit more up here. There's a little bit of white. It's kind of slip slappy. And then we've got like the white around it. And I think I got some diamond dust on it there that must have been on the table that fell off the other one, but we will work around it. It's going to be glittery anyhow. I just want to tell everybody how much we appreciate for supporting us. We appreciate it so much, Heather and I. This has been such a beautiful journey to do together. And so I think I'm going to add a little bit more. Trying to see. I got it too thin up here with the water. So I am going to add a little bit more up there. Because my my wood is showing through just a bit. So if you find that's happening, just grab a little bit more paint. The first time I did this, I didn't have, I didn't do this on stain, but I thought for time's sake, I would do that because it was really something to try and paint around it, and it's watered down so much the stain is showing a little bit, so you might have to do that. And I'm just grabbing again the black and the blue and kind of melding it together. And once I get it nice and blend it in there. I'm gonna dry it again, and I'll probably give it a quick little light sand with a piece of paper. I don't know, most of you follow me over on my other page on Shard and Sign Shack, and you have seen me use the packing paper as sandpaper, and it is like the best sandpaper around. So I'm just going back again, slip slappy, putting that black on the toe and the heel. I'm gonna get a little bit more water. So I feel for you, Vicki. That's horrible. It's no fun. I broke my toe a couple of years ago. And I'm going to rinse that out real quick and do another pass through of the white with the blue. And kind of blend it together. But I broke my toe, yeah, a couple of years ago, and it was just absolutely, it hurt so bad. It was New Year's Eve, and we were getting ready for bed, and I walked into my office, and I have these big iron, you know those big black irons that they used to have like back in the old days? That you'd heat up, and they're really heavy. They're like cast iron. And I broke my toe on it. I cut my little toe on it, going too fast into the room. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. You just got to keep playing with it till it looks like you want. But I broke it, and I looked down, I felt it like right away. I was like, oh my goodness, that hurts. And my toe was going like the opposite way of my other toes. And of course, we were getting ready to go to California to see my son Josh, and he likes to do a lot of hiking. So I was hiking on a broken toe. It was, and there's nothing you can do for a broken toe. You just tape it to your neighbor. I forget what they call it. Your sister toe, your neighbor toe. I can't remember. So I'm going to rinse that out. I blended that a couple different times. It's kind of a little, blending it just a little bit more there. So I'm going to go over this again. I've got it lighter. I've got a little bit darker in here, and then a little bit lighter down here. Yeah, your crutches, I remember. I know your arms will hurt so bad under those. Those stink. But it's no fun being slowed down either, especially when everybody else is okay and all that good stuff. So has everybody been Christmas shopping or anything like that yet so far? I did a lot online on like Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. It was a lot of fun. And I'm just going to add just one more swipe of this blue up here. Like I said, guys, you just got to play with it till you get it where you want it. And water can help with that. I've been watching there's this girl, I forget her name, but she came up on a reel and she does watercolors, and I'm getting obsessed with it. I'm like, I've been wanting to learn watercolor painting for a while, and I think I'm going to dabble my hand in it. I think it'll be fun, but probably not till after the New Year's. There's so much stuff I got to get done. Jeff keeps getting upset with my honeydew list. Okay, so that's nice and dry. And I am going to take, just because I use so much water, lots of times that will raise the grain of your wood when you use that much water. But it really didn't raise this too much. But I'm going to do a quick little just light sand with that there. And just smooth it out nicely. But I think it turned out kind of pretty. I know there's kind of a line there. I blended it as much as I can. But with the house and everything, it's going to be breaking it up. You're going to be fine. It's strange because when you look at things, sometimes it doesn't look that great. And then you go back and everything, you put everything as a whole on it. And it looks so much better than you thought at first. It's like it all comes together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an initial, I can't remember, I think I just painted that. I don't think I used this as a guide because I have to bring it and flatten it out. So I am going to turn this towards me because I'm going to be painting this circle right here. And I am going to grab some white. And I'm just going to start, I'm going to make a line down here. But I think I will put the stencil down and do up there. And you can make a nice line just by laying your brush flat, loading it up with paint. And just kind of following the line you have drawn. But I'm going to get this on this line down here. Because you want it sunk into the wood. You want it to look dimensional. And it wouldn't look right if you just did it flat like that. And because of the way this wood is, you are going to have to do that yourself. And that's what I'm doing with this brush here. And it doesn't have to be like 100% perfect. So I'm going to rinse this out and set it aside for a minute. I'm going to dry that, and then I'm going to add the paint because then we're going to blend a little white and blue to make the snow. And I did get a little bit of white down here, but I am going to be putting some gold around these edges, so I'm not that concerned about it. Okay, so I got a nice line there, and I'm going to put my stencil down and kind of put it, see, it's going to have to come over here too, but I'm going to set it down. And I am going to tape it. So you're just going to have to work with this. And what I would recommend doing, oh, there's one of my little things for my, when I put my numbers up for my Stencilsmith Lives. So I'm going to get a 1/2-inch brush, stencil brush. And if you're new to stenciling, you are just going to get the paint in the tip of your brush, just like so. And you're going to get a paper towel. I like to use shop towels. And you're going to offload. And I am going to just do this whole thing in white here, including this. Then when I take it off, I'm going to extend it. And this is such a dark color, this blue. I'm going to do everything, base it in white. And it did look pretty cool. Sometimes the white line doesn't look that great, but if you shift it, if you look on this one, see how that was shifted just a bit, and look how the white almost looks like snow or something on Santa with that like little shadow just from shifting it just a wee little bit. It looks so cute. So we're just going to stencil this all in white, because anytime you're stenciling on dark, you need to put a layer of white. I prefer gray, and we can use gray. I don't know what I use gray on. I had slate gray out for something, but I'm not sure what. We'll see. Like I said, it's it's been a month since I did this, so it's kind of like, to me too, it's not like I just did it last week. So I'm going to do these rooftops. And I apologize, I should have this facing you. And then these little, I think it's so cute how April designed those in the design. These little marks, so it looks like the light's hitting the snow globe. It's just genius. So let's get this all stenciled in there. And when I do the Santa, I will shift the Santa down just a bit so that white will show. The rest of it I want to go in the same place, but that I will shift down just a little bit. Okay, so we've got one coat on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, whoop, I missed a snowflake, which is kind of what I do a lot. Okay, so I'm going to set this in a baggie right now, and I'm going to take it off, and we're going to work on the snow. So let's take this off, and you can see here how you're going to have to extend the snow. You're going to have to make your own kind of lines. So I'm going to get some more white, and let's just, and that's another reason not to paint this until the on the side, because your white might come over and then you have to touch it up again. So I just kind of angled it down. And then over here, so it kind of like angled kind of up and out. And then over here, we're going to go just kind of down, just like so. And we'll put a nice coat of paint on that. I am going to want to blend, especially here where there's going to be a little ridge where the stencil ended. Okay. So what I'm going to do down here on the bottom is I'm going to get just a little bit of the blue on my toe this time instead, that midnight blue, and a lot of the white. And down here, I'm going to kind of give some dimension to that snow. I'm going to need a little bit of water. So it looks really pretty with just a little, you're just getting a wee little bit of blue on the toe of that, and then getting the rest in white. So you just have like a titch on the toe and then the white, and you're just following along that line and kind of blending it in there. And it's kind of darker at the bottom. And then if you want to just dip your brush again in the water, you can kind of blend it out some more. And then you might want to add just a little bit more blue. but you really want to blend it out. You want some dimension to that snow. So I'm just putting the littlest bit on the toe. So you can kind of see I'm working to the top, but see how that's giving it like dimension to that snow? It's not that white snow. So again, let's get just barely the tip of your brush. Just barely tip it in there and then get the rest white. And then again, you can get just a little bit of water. You just need to really put your brush in the water, like maybe the very tip of it, and just kind of move it around. And you want it a little bit lighter at the top. So you might even just go in with just the white. And remember, there's nothing that you can't paint over. Don't forget that. And there's no right or wrong. So now I like that. I'm going to add a little bit more over here. But so now if you look at it, the snow has just the smallest amount of dimension to it with that little bit of blue streaking in it. So I've just barely put, like I said, the very, very tip of that in there. So now we've got that going on. So I believe the next thing I did, and it was before, was it before? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was before. I wanted to make some stars in the sky too. So what I did, let me just wipe my brush off there, was I got my toothbrush, and I know I've got this on here, but I dipped it in a little water and got it wet and got it in some white paint. And before I did it on here, you want to practice kind of on something. And I kind of just drug my finger across it. And I need just a little bit more white because I have used up all my white, so I didn't get quite enough white. I don't want to get it down here on my wood. Just up here. It is kind of messy. And again, you just put just a little bit of water. You don't saturate it. And then get a little bit of paint so it's watered down. And you can kind of like, offload it first. And that'll give you some stars kind of in the background. Not so worried about this area. Because we'll be putting the house and stuff like there, but I'll put just a little bit there just in case. So we got a little bit there, and I did get a dot there, so I'm going to get a wipe and wipe that off, and you can rinse sure that's all we're going to be using the toothbrush. And you could do that with an old brush too if you want. Tap them together, just dip it in some paint. And I'm just going to be setting that off to the side. I'm starting to sweat, if you can believe that. It's so hot out here. And I'm going to give this a quick dry. Just like so. And then we're going to go start going in with the colors. Okay, we got that nice and dry, I think. Even the big ones. Let me get a sip of water here. Okay, so let's get that stencil again, and we're going to go back in and start adding our colors to this. I gotta look at me. I gotta line it up this way. And like I said, with the Santa and stuff, I probably will shift that up when I do that. I might do one more coat of white on that and then the black. We're not going to do the snow anymore, just we're going to concentrate on this part of it. So I am going to get my white brush, and I'm going to want to do white on the snowflakes. Oh no! Oh well. I got some snow on my snow globe. I wasn't paying attention. Well, that stinks. On my other snow globe. Okay, so I'm going to get some white paint again. And you definitely want to do another coat on your little glass, like the shining glass there, and the snowflakes and stuff. And if you're new to stenciling, you just want a little bit of, and I am going to do the Santa again to get a good, nice white on it. That black will pop. We'll move it down just a bit so the white will be kind of on top. We're going to get the snowflakes. Just like so. So we've got the little stars in the background, and then we've got these snowflakes. The bigger ones are the snowflakes. And I'm out of white paint again. Is anybody doing like some Christmas shows? Anything like that? Have them coming up? We are not. And honestly, we are glad we're not. So, looks like a little splat of paint or something got on there. Okay, so we've got that second coat of white. And I think that's going to be enough on the little glass marks and stuff. So then I'm trying to remember what I used. I used this really, it's one of my favorite greens, this Hauser medium green. I used a couple different greens. It took me a while to, get the right colors, the exact like greens I was looking for, stuff like that. And so that's Deco Arts Hauser medium green. And I'm just going to get one of these. And I only use the Stencil Smith brushes. They are the best. This is a 3/8 brush. I know many of you use them as well. And I'm going to do a coat of this green on here. Whoop, I didn't mean to do that in the white because that'll make it lighter then. Let's get this Hauser green in there, and we'll have to do at least 2 coats. And then I believe I used the sable brown. I'm trying to remember. No, I just left these white, like there's snow on top of the chimney. So I am going to have to go back to the white because I didn't do that a second time there. Oops. No, how I got that in the blue too. I need to get a new plate. So I needed some white there too. But these rooftops are going to be sable brown, and then we're going to do Santa in black, but we're going to move him down after we do a second coat of, was it sable brown or did I do espresso? I did sable brown for the roofs. That's what I did. I talk to myself a lot if you haven't figured that out. I need to get a new plate because I'm starting to put my brush into, like, I don't see some wet paints there. So I use them as much as I can. And again, I'm just going to get a 3/8 brush here and offload. And I'm going to do the roof there. And that'll probably take 2 coats. Whoops, I might be missing comments. I'm sorry. You have one last show, December 5th. Oh my goodness, that is a long time. Is it every single day or is it just like the weekends? Oh no, snow splatter. Oh, thank you, Mary Lou. I got this in, goodness, my stencil shifted. I don't have it taped to anything up here, so you have to be careful with that. I missed a lot of comments, girls. I'm sorry. Hello, Renee. I had checked out, yeah, Heather pre-drew a winner ahead of time because her husband surprised her with something, which I can't tell her what it is, but I'm so excited for her. It was a really, really thoughtful gift. So that green is dry, so we're going to get some more green. But this shirt I got at like a little boutique in Florida. My dad used to have a place in Titusville. And it's right by Playa Linda Beach, which is part of Canaveral National Seashore. And I saw this sweatshirt. I've had it for quite a while, and I just fell in love with it. And it is really warm, but I'm getting like almost too warm now. That's funny. I wondered why I wasn't seeing comments. I had went back because I missed Vicky's about breaking her leg, and then I missed a whole bunch of comments. Hi, Judy. You finished shopping and shipping. How nice. Oh, resin is a lot of fun. See, I missed a lot of stuff. I'm so sorry. Good for you, Bonnie. I bought a lot of, I bought a couple things for me, and I do want to buy like some watercolor paper and stuff like that. I saw a really cute reel this afternoon, and the girl was doing the big old-fashioned light bulbs, and she was doing it in watercolor, and I want to really try it. I have the Stencil Smith Jingle Bell stencil, which I think I will outline and try it with that, but it looks really fascinating. I've been wanting to dabble in it more. I shouldn't say more. It's not like I've done it a bunch of times. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel this, and I am going to shift this where the Santa is and the reindeers. I'm going to shift it down just a hair. So some of that white should show. I did it on accident the last time. I didn't even know I did it, and then I was like, well, that looks kind of cool. So I've shifted it down just a little bit, just down. So let's get this black on here. Yeah, Heather was really worried yesterday when, thank you, Mary Lou. I think I said that, but I'm not sure. Every day except Sunday. Boy, that's a big commitment. So I'm going to put a little more black down and get another small brush here, like the 3/8, and offload it, of course. But I get hot out here in the garage, and I'm going to go over this with my black. And it should, theoretically, like I said, I did it by accident last time, show just a little bit of white. Yep, it did. So by shifting it down, it's got a little bit of white on it. So I am gonna give it a quick dry. You can dry on your stencils. It's totally fine to do that. Just move it around. And I need to do a second coat of this black. My grandson, he's 6. The other two don't believe in Santa anymore. They're 10 and 16. But my youngest grandson, he was saying the other day that Santa doesn't come to my house. I have to buy my own gifts. I said, what? I said, can't Santa like bring stuff to me? I like that. So you can see how by shifting that down just a little bit, see how it left just a little bit of snow, a little bit of highlight on that Santa. So that's a way you can always easily, you can shift down and over, you can shift up. But I thought it really, like I said, I did it by mistake the first time. So I am going to add a little bit of snow to this tree. And so I don't get a whole bunch off on anything else. I'm going to lay my stencil back down and I'm going to get my white brush. And I'm just simply going to start bringing some white down like that. And this might be too big of a brush. But just bringing some down like it, you know how it's going to hang on the branches. And it's just real quick and easy. And if you do that, you don't have to worry about it going off. You could also take Snow Tech or anything like that. I'm going to get just a little bit more white on this. And I'm offloading it pretty well. And this one in particular, like I said, I do like to use gray as my underbase when I'm painting on something dark. But this one in particular, so just kind of bring it downward. The white looks like snow highlights, so it's really a super cool effect if anything shows. Because some people get really bothered when that shows. Okay, so we have some snow there. So we've got some snow on our tree, just like so. Super easy way to just throw some snow on it. I want to put some snow on the roofs as well, but I think I'll wait till I get my whole house painted. So let's move this off and move on. I feel like I need to do one more coat on my little chimney tops. We just had our roof redone the day before Thanksgiving, and they got it, they would have had it all done, but they have to come back now if we ever get good weather again, because they got everything done. And I want to put just one more coat on these little things there. But the company that sent the shingles and stuff, we have rolled roofing on our garage, which I'm in right now because it's kind of a flat roof. It's a little slanted. And because of that, we can only do rolled roofing. And they sent 2 rolls. Our roof is black, but they sent 2 rolls of, what did they send? 2 rolls of brown. So we can't have an entirely black. Oh, hi, Lita. I bet you're not as cold as us. Yeah, it is like a moon glow, kind of. That's very true. So I'm going to get my first overlay, and they'll be marked overlay 1, overlay 2, overlay 3. And even when the stickers fall off, as they do if you use them enough, it's engraved on your stencils. Not only the number of the stencil, but see how that says number 1? It'll tell you what's the first overlay, the second overlay, that kind of thing. So like I said, I went back and forth with every red that I had from Deco Arts, and I did not find the perfect red. And this is just like a puzzle piece. So just like a puzzle piece, it fits right in there. And I don't know what I did. There's my tape. I like to use my tape over and over until it has no stick left. Why be wasteful, right? And so again, I am going to do this in a coat of white. Just one coat, just because it's such a dark thing. 40 degrees is super balmy. I think our real feel right now, we're 29, but our real feel, we feel like 10 right now. I was going to go for a walk today and I was like, ooh, I can't even do that. So we just want to do one coat of white on here, just so everything will kind of pop off that, because it is a very dark blue. I recommend it not just on blacks, but on dark reds, blues, like anything that's very dark. It can be really hard to get your colors to pop off a dark color. I know the first couple signs I made a black, one of the first ones I made was a black welcome sign. It had interchangeable things, and one of them I made, a girl wanted a heart for the O. And it was like one of my very first things I made to sell. And I could not get that red to just pop at all. It just kept fading into the black. And then I was watching videos. I don't even know if they had the reels then. And I found one, and I don't even remember who it was or what site it was, but they said to put a coat of white. And I've since switched to gray mostly. But like I said, this almost has the added illusion of the snow if there's a little bit showing. It doesn't matter. So just one quick coat of white, and down here on the stem of the tree, or the trunk of the tree, not the stem. And I'll put that in here, and we'll just do a quick 28. Yeah, you're 28, Judy, so you're the same as me. What's your real feel, Judy? Did you get any snow? Heather said she didn't get any snow. We got about a foot. Jeff and I were watching a movie last night, and I looked out before I was going to bed, and it was just a total whiteout outside. It was unbelievable. So just do a quick dry on that. They dry pretty quickly. Now the red I did use, ooh, yeah, I'd rather have snow than rain, at least to walk in, really. I like to get my walk in 3 times a week, but it's getting more difficult now. So this is cranberry. This is from Fusion Mineral. It was on the list. Are you serious, Carol? Where are you at? Yeah, we're in Chardon, right in town. We did have some melt today. You got about 8 to 9 inches, Sherry? That's pretty similar to what we got. So I'm going to put some cranberry out. But this did end up being the best color I found. I did not find a DecoArts color that was any way close to that. Of course, I don't have all the reds. Because I feel like I've talked to you, and I'm just getting some of this off the top because I don't want to waste the paint. And I'm going to offload. But this is a really, really foggy and chilly. You're in Northern California, right, Bronwyn? I'm pretty sure that's what you told me. We have not made it to Northern California yet. California is one big... Oh, last year, that's right, you're from Leroy, I remember now. I think I had talked to you before about where you were at. And I think I told you you were welcome to come here anytime if you wanted. I don't know if this is your thing, stenciling or painting, but come and hang out. But yeah, my sister-in-law is in Leroy. She's on Lester Drive. Yeah, I know last year you guys got it really bad, and my daughter's in Thompson. And I think like I don't know why, but I made my trunk red. I just got happy swirling there. I don't want a red trunk, but that's okay. So this is Cranberry Fusion Mineral. I am going to make that trunk sable. I think. Probably sable. I'm just going to do a quick dry here. I bet you are, Patty. 43 and rain in Mississippi. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Sacramento is far. Did you? You should have said hello. I probably looked frightful, I'm sure. My husband has even recently remarked, this is how you know you've, like, I mean, I rarely ever, I'm wearing a little bit of makeup right now, really just like a, oh, what do you call it? It's not makeup, it's like the tinted moisturizer and a little bit of mascara, and that's it. I rarely ever wear makeup at all anymore. It just, I don't know. I mean, I wash my face and all that stuff and put moisturizer on, but it just, I don't know. Like, I don't know. But my husband, I know we went to Home Depot one day and he's like, look at you, look at what you're in. And now tell me, this is the man who will wear like all green or plaid on plaid, colors like that. And yeah, you should have said hello, Carol. I would have been happy to meet you. I'm trying to think what I was in. Aldi, I love Aldi. That's like the store. It's my favorite store. Oh, thank you, Mary Lou. You should see me sometimes. But Jeff is even, he's like, I can't believe you went out like that. He's like, back in your old days, not that I ever did. Like, you see some of the kids now that wear makeup and stuff like that, and they do all that contouring and all that stuff. Like, I was never that girl. I was a little bit of cover girl. I think foundation and like some mascara, maybe a little blush, a little eyeshadow. That was it. So I was never really into that. I told my husband, like sometimes he'll complain, you know, as they do when you've been together for a long time. And he'd be like, it takes you forever to get ready. And I'm like, you don't know. I am not high maintenance. You have no idea what high maintenance is. You know, like not that there's anything wrong with it. Everybody has their own thing, but like, you know, the fake eyelashes, to me, would be, I think, very high maintenance, stuff like that. I want to see, I think I want to do one more coat of the cranberry. It's a little splotchy. So I'm going to do one more coat and one more coat of the sable brown. South of Chico. I think we passed, I know when we went to those parks in November, we went into Fresno, and then we also went through Bakersfield too. Boy, California, that's all I can say is it's a beautiful state. It is big. And boy, oh boy, they don't believe in guardrails that often. If you see a guardrail, you know you better slow down. It's crazy, but it's very beautiful. Yeah, Judy just, I don't know, are you regretting moving to the cold state of Ohio now, Judy? Or are you glad to be here? I know you're, I think your son's here. So we've got the red and we've got the sable brown. So we're going to take it off. We're getting a little bit more detail. Let's see, where's my other overlay? So we're going to take that off and lay that aside. And I'll put some snow on the roof, but I'm going to get the whole thing finished first. And I want to do a quick little dry here. Just like so. It's funny, I saw all these signs, I think, when we were traveling. Okay, so this is the second overlay. Let me look at it. so I don't mess something up. I'll turn it towards me and then I'll turn it back towards you. And it's got these cute little lights on it, which are just adorable, you know, the string lights on the house. Oops, it's got to come up. I had my door way down in my snow, so it really kind of butts up to the bottom of the snow there. Okay. And again, I'm going to put a layer of white. And it is helpful if you do tape both ends down, not like I've been doing just the one end. And another tip you can use, just simply because this is, I think this is made out of a 1x10, cut out of 1x10. So like if you have another 1x10, it doesn't even have to be a 1x10, it could be a 1 by whatever. It's usually the same thickness, which is like 0.75 inches. Just butt it up next to you, and your stencil that's falling over, you can tape it to that piece of wood. So if you've never done that, it's a very easy way. I couldn't believe the oil fields in Bakersfield. When we came out of Yosemite, it was really, or no, I think that's when we came out of Sequoia. Because we went in one way, and then we came out a different way. Because we went to do two different parks in 2 days. But thank you, Mary Lou. I wasn't fishing for compliments. I know what I do. I have like old raggedy sweats and stuff like that, but I'd rather be warm. Hi, Mitzi. Or I'll be coming from a walk, so I'll have gotten all sweaty. So just that one little coat of white. And we're going to do the door in espresso. And the windows in this little star, which is a really nice bright yellow. That's, again, fusion. Those are the two fusion colors that I did use. Cranberry and little star. How funny, got a bunch of Californians on here. I wish my son didn't live in California. It's so far away from Ohio. Okay, so I'm going to get Deco Arts Espresso. And I saw earlier when I missed the comments that, Judy, you said you got your stuff shipped to Germany. Is that what you said? Okay, so yeah, when you're putting the toothbrush, when you're doing the toothbrush thing, make sure to move everything out of your way because everything will get coated with it. You have to be really careful with that. So this is that espresso, and I'll just get another. This is going to be a lot of brush changing, and it's a little bit darker. Is it the one I used? Yeah. Maybe I used a different one. I used a different one. I didn't use this espresso. I lied. I don't think this is the color I used. It's not dark enough. That is not nearly, I don't think, dark enough. Well, we'll do 2 coats and we'll see. I thought I did espresso. I even wrote them down. And I'm going to get a little bit of yellow star out. And I got these little containers on Michaels, at Michaels, which are really nice. And so I'll again pick up some little star, and I'm gonna and it would be cute like if you had cats. I had a cat a long time ago. But you could draw a little miniature cat like in the window if you wanted, or you could draw the outline of a tree, like the shadow of a tree, a Christmas tree, if you wanted. Okay, let's give this, well, no, I gotta add my colors here. So I'm gonna use probably my micro brushes, which are awesome. They are the real little bitty brushes, 1/8 of an inch. And so I'm going to alternate these. I used my Hauser Green and True Blue. Where's my True Blue? Okay, so I used this DecoArts True Blue. It's a really bright blue. And I did kind of every other one. And then the other bulbs, I did in the Hauser Green. And this brush is just perfect for stuff like this. And there's a perfect amount, so if you use 2 colors, you get 2 of the same colors at the end. Stuff like that would drive me crazy if it didn't end like that. I'm sure April very thoughtfully thought about that. And I'm getting just a little bit of that Hauser Green. And I'm going to put that, I don't think I used the Hauser Green. I think I used a brighter green. Let's use this Holly Green. I'm going to use this Holly Green. You can use the Hauser Green, but I feel like I want to use a little bit brighter green for the Christmas lights. I'm sorry, I'm switching it up. Okay. That Holly Green's really, really bright. I used that on my last live. What did I do? I can't even remember what I did on Tuesday. I don't remember. That's horrible. Does anybody remember what I did on Tuesday? Trying to think. I'm doing a tray on, I hope this is the yellow. Yeah, I didn't grab the brown one. Briefly lived across. The micro brushes are awesome. All of their brushes, you can't go wrong with them at all. So let's just do one more coat. Make them really nice, bright yellow. And then let's go back to our darker brown and hope that I did get the right. It's dry. If it wasn't dry, you'd need to, maybe that is the brown I did use. Okay. It's just going to need probably 3 coats. Some of these colors are just more translucent than others, so you need to do a couple of coats. And then we'll do the little light bulbs again. All these little touches are so cute. The stuff that April designs in her stencils, they're just amazing. The snowman, thank you. I should have brought it out to put behind me. I couldn't remember. I've got it hanging on my door. Oh, which Bonnie, by the way, I did contact Craft Deals, and they are going to set me up with an affiliate link. So, you know, if you want to purchase the big tags or circles or anything like that on there, it's not set up yet, but that code will be Sign Shack, just like for the Stencil Smith. And we got to do one more. I'm going to give a quick little dry there. And we're going to do that espresso on the door. I'm sorry this has taken so long, guys. I knew this would be a long one. Okay. Let's just put that over there and we'll pop that off. And so now we've got the lights and the windows and the door, and we're going to have to give it a dry. And we've got the last overlay, which is, thank you, Bonnie. I know a lot of you were requesting it because I use those big tags that they have. Yeah, like I said, it's not set up yet, but I anticipate probably by Monday it'll be set up. because she messaged me back right away. But it was Friday, so I'm sure she didn't want to deal with business on the weekend. So this second overlay, like this is the door. It's got little lines in it and little bricks. And again, let me turn it towards me. Oh, this is the third overlay, not the second. And make sure we get this on. Okay. And this is an instance where, see how the stencil's going over? If you worried about this shifting, where you could put a piece of wood the same size and you could just stencil on it. So for the door, I'm going to use that color we used on the tree trunk and the roofs, which was the sable, I think. Sable brown. It's that lighter brown. And you could even use a little bit of gold if you wanted on the doorknob. I just did brown on the other one, but you certainly could. And so for the bricks, all I did was I took my brush that I had my cranberry on, and I'm done with it. Oh, thank you, Mary Lou. I'm glad to help out. They had contacted me, but I believe it was like one of the times when my dad was in the hospital or sick, and I let things go when that happens. So so I got my cranberry and I put a little bit of white on it. And so we're just using the same cranberry, but we're lightening it with that white. So I'm just going to offload that and see how it's a lighter shade of that cranberry. And that's what I made my bricks with. And it does look kind of pink, but that's okay. And so that's an easy way. If you want to darken something, you could add a little black or a really dark red to it. But it's a really easy way to get a lighter. And that's a little too pink, so I'll add a little bit more red to it. And I'm just going to go over it, because that was a little too light, a little too pink. And I like that better. It's still kind of pink, but see how it's lighter, so it really complements that cranberry. It's just a lighter shade of the cranberry. So now we're going to do some fun little details, and I think I will make this little doorknob gold. I think I've decided. So I'm going to use this Glorious Gold. I didn't do it on the other one, but, so I'm just going to line it back up and pop it on there. And I'm just going to go over this sable brown right there. And I'm going to add, probably with a micro brush, I'm just going to pick up some of that Glorious Gold and make the doorknob just a little pop of gold. And I like that better. Look at that. That looks, with the gold doorknob, I like that a lot rather than the brown. So sometimes things don't come to you till later. Okay, so now we want to add a little bit of snow to the roof and maybe the top of the door. So I want to say I just used my angle brush. I should write all my steps down. And I just kind of got some white paint on it. And I just kind of tapped it on the roof there like that. Kind of down around the curve. And I didn't thin the white, I'm just tapping it on there. And it's fine if it goes like over your roof a little bit, that's fine. You know, like over that way. And let me get a little bit more white. And just kind of, and I'm just kind of tapping it in there. And it kind of looks like snow when you kind of tap it in there like that. It looks a little powdery. And then just kind of bring it down like that. So you see how I just kind of tap that around there? There's a little more on the one side. I need to round it just a little bit more there with the tip of my brush. And remember, you can go back and you could just simply wipe this off with a wet wipe. I want to put a little bit on the top of the door. So I'm just simply tapping that on the top of the door. And you could also, again, use like Snow Tech if you wanted. And so we need to do this roof over here too. So let's get some more white. Let's see. And I tried the tree a bunch of ways. I tried tapping snow on it like this, and I didn't like it as much as it dry brushed, just highlighting a little bit there. And you could also dry brush this too, like there's a little snow on the top. But I did like that. You know what's sad is I don't even know what my new roof looks like. We paid all this money for it, but I don't know what it looks like because we haven't been able to see it because it started snowing. Those poor guys were up on the roof and it was snowing at the very end when they were finishing up. So I don't really know. And I do want to add a little bit more paint right there because just dip it in there. Apparently I didn't get that real good there. I might have to add a little bit of, where did my blue go? That's why I got too many colors out here. I can't find my blue. Oh, there it is. Oh, my blue dried up. That's why. There we go. Just kind of blend it out there. Because it was looking weird on the edges there where it ended. And I want to get that down before I add the snow. Okay, so the next thing I would like to do is these little bulbs here. I'm going to put some of this. I don't know if you've ever used glossy accents, but it's really cool. You can get it at Hobby Lobby. You can order it on Amazon, but you can also order it on Hobby Lobby. And it dries to a clear finish. It's really super cool. So I'm going to put little dots on this to make it look just like in this one. See how they're raised. I don't know if you can see that. My stomach's growling. How raised. There you can kind of see. See how they're raised and they're shiny? They look very dimensional. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do this and then we'll let it dry while we do our little overlay. So we'll do this while it's drying. So you just put a little dab on it. It's all you need. It's got a real thin needle-like And it doesn't look clear when you first put it down, but it dries clear. And it's pretty easy to control. But it looks so cool. It's called Glossy Accents. And I think it's by Rick Ranger. I think they're the ones who do like alcohol inks and stuff like that. A lot of scrapbooking stuff. I think that's where I got this, I'm pretty sure, in the scrapbooking department. So we've got all our little glossy, I don't think I got a big enough dab, right? The first one. Okay. So I'm going to let those dry for a minute while we do. So I'm going to set it aside and we'll do our overlay here. And for the overlay, and then we'll help it dry with our heat gun, but I'd rather it dry as much as it can by itself. So I did this outside, I did in the Hauser green. So I'm going to get some of that Hauser green. And then the middle I did in the cranberry. And honestly, it looked just okay until I went back with the gold. And the gold brought all those little crevices and everything out and looked so pretty. But you really kind of have to get in there with the paint into the little crevices. And I go right up to like here, this ridge, and then the flower will be red, and the middle will be gold. I tried to make it look more like a poinsettia at first, but I didn't do a very good job at it, so. Well, number one, the leaves aren't pointy, so it was always going to be kind of hard. Okay, so let's get this all painted there. And again, you know, you're going to want to get right up to the edge of that flower. And in all the crevices. And this is a really, really pretty ground, or green. I love all the Hausers. There's medium, dark, and light. And then there's a really pretty green avocado. I used it for Santa's eyes in the stained glass. And boy, did that really make his eyes like stand out. Unbelievably. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to have to put a little bit more green out. Yeah. Okay. I need to I'm going to order some more paints from DecoArts. I have been getting it at decoarts.com. And I guess that's where I'll be getting it. I didn't go to Michael's, and you don't have to paint the back of this because it's going to be glued down, so don't even worry about that. But you just want to make sure, and I will let you know that this is my good stencil smith brush, and I did use this to paint it. And so it did do a little damage to it the way I was pushing it in there and all those those little crevices. So I would recommend not using like a super good brush on this. Use an older brush because I did damage this one trying to get it in all those crevices, and I didn't realize until the damage was already done. It was like, well, too late now. I got a bunch of them. So I'll just use this as my stencil smith. This will be my scruffy stencil smith brush. But the thing is, I have a lot of scruffy brushes because the grandkids paint with me a lot. And, Boy, they're hard on brushes. That's what I saved all my old stencil brushes for. And my old paint brushes. I let them use them. I did get my one grandson a nice art set for Christmas because he just, my middle one, he just loves to paint. He's the one who painted the galaxy the other day. He'll go on YouTube and he'll see something and he'll try to recreate it. So just get that in all these nice little nooks and crannies. I feel like I'm trying to sell you an English bagel, you know, with all the nooks and crannies. I haven't had an English bagel in a long time. I like them. They're so good. And I'm so glad that everybody could join us. Heather felt super bad that she had to leave. I still don't want to say where she's going in case she pops on for a minute in the car on the way to where they're going. But it's a pretty nice surprise. It's something I did a long time ago when I was young. It's funny how as you get older, the, oh, that's so young gets a lot, it gets a lot older with you. I know I was reading something the other day about Natalie Wood. And how it had been 44 years, I think, since she had died. And I can remember, because I think I was like a junior in high school when she died. And I think it said she was 43 when she died. And I remember thinking at the time, well, that's pretty old. And not realizing that, boy, that's not old at all. Not at all. Not that I was like, oh, that's old, you know, or anything like that. Like, oh, she, you know, I just thought, you just think people are older when you're younger. So I'm going to take some cranberry and I'm just going to go around. And I'm not too worried about like that, if I get cranberry in the middle too much. You can go over it with the gold. And you'll see when you're doing your little pieces there, you'll see where the line to the flower and the vines kind of where they kind of start and stop. Sirens are going off like crazy. We live in a pretty little town, like we're only just a little bit over 5,000 people. And I swear we do live really close to the fire department. Like it's right up on the square, but they go off a lot. That red and green really look pretty together. This is probably my favorite red. I did try to find a Deco Arts one. I just couldn't find one that was as pretty as this one. Okay, I'm going to rinse that out. So we've got our green and red painted. And I'm going to give it a little dry. And I'll add some Glorious Gold in the middle there. But this is so pretty. This is a pretty piece too if you wanted to wax it with like a little bit of darkening wax or something like that. All those little raised pieces would catch it. So I just kind of did the middle in this glorious gold, but then I'm going to go over it with the Rub and Buff, which I love. Too much water on that. And this this Deco Arts Metallics, this gold is a really, really nice gold. It shows up pretty nicely. Okay, so what I did after that, I'm going to dry that, and I'm going to get this Rub and Buff out, and I have it in silver and gold. It's really pretty. Very, very pretty. And a little bit goes a long way. Like, I've had this for years, and I've just turned the bottom up one time. And so what I did after everything was dry was I took my gold leaf Rub and Buff. It's a wax metallic finish. And I took my brush and I just kind of dabbed it in there at the top and kind of like went over like the raised pieces and kind of rubbed it around there. And it picked up the raised pieces really easily. It's stinky stuff. It really is. And then I rubbed it in the middle there. I think actually this is what messed my brush up. This Rub and Buff. I think it's pretty hard on a brush. And I did rub it in the middle over that and kind of like got the edges of it. And you can get, there's little grooves in the flower if you want. You can get the wax in that. And of course you can get like around on the curves and everything. And then do the same on the other end. I keep wanting to dip it in paint. But this stuff is amazing. Like I said, it's stinky, but it's really, really pretty. It's a beautiful accent. And again, I did kind of, like on the top of the curves of everything, I kind of put it. So you got this really pretty piece there. Might have a little too much gold there, but you can always go back in and kind of add a little bit of red. I added more gold than I wanted, so just add a little bit of red back to it, but it looks really pretty. Really nice, like regal looking piece to put on there. So let me rinse that brush out. But yeah, I think that's what did my brush in. Really. So I don't think it was so much the getting it in. It could have been the other, but I think it was that. It kind of splayed it like. Now, I rinsed it out, but I will wash it really good after the live. So I'm going to put this back on here. We'll put some on the snow globe. I am going to put the Galaxy glitter on first. So I'm going to varnish it with this Galaxy glitter. I may have to hit the heat gun on this. I walked away in steps. I'm not sure how long these take to dry. I probably should have put the Galaxy glitter on and then put these on. Let's see if it says how long it takes to dry. Says do not use a heat tool to dry. They're getting close. I don't know what using a heat tool. I was just reading the directions, so it says do not use a heat tool. So I'm going to put my Galaxy glitter on, and then we'll put our snow on, and we'll put our overlay, and then add some gold down here. I'm just going to be careful around these bulbs is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put some of this out in a plate. And this stuff is awesome. It's the Deco Arts Duro Clear Galaxy Varnish. It's a glitter varnish. And when I use it, I usually put a couple coats on. And you can see it's white. So see how it's white there? It dries clear. And then I'll put my snow on top of that. I don't know where my other bigger brush went. There it is. Okay. So you just want to put it on there. That's all. Just spread it around. Like I said, I'll be close when I get. And I did 2 coats of the Galaxy glitter. The more you put it on, the more sparkly it is. And you may not be able to see it so much like on this busy starry night, but if you look at the house there, you can see the glitter on the house. So I'm just going to real carefully, and if I have to add some later around the bulbs, I will. I should have totally, I don't know what I was thinking. Oh well. Because I'm sure that's what I did before too, is I put this on and added the little stuff for the bulbs. But it's just, it's beautiful. My grandkids are obsessed with this. They want to use it on everything they do. My grandson, he made that Galaxy, and he added this Galaxy glitter to it, and boy, did that make a huge difference. When that dries, I'm probably just going to come over. Yeah, I went over it lightly. It's pretty dry. There we go. So note to yourself, like I said, I did this in many steps. I'd do a little part, and then I'd come out and I'd work on it some more because I had the time and I wasn't quite sure. I'd put something on and I'd be like, oh, that looks pretty cool. So I don't know if April has announced it on the group. I haven't really been on Facebook very much today, but we're going to have a group thing again next Sunday. So there'll be a 3-person group event. And again, we help design the group or design the stencil, and it's just super cool. Oh, you're welcome, Patty. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Yeah, it's a wooden snow globe. I hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. So I'm just going to give this a quick dry because I'm going to do 2 coats of this. Make it real nice and glittery. The more you add, like I said, the more it glitters. And you will need to paint the sides of yours. I did not paint the sides of mine yet, but I will paint them after the live and put Galaxy glitter on that as well. I don't think you really want to watch me paint the sides of that. feel like I got a hair or something in there. I did. What am I? Darn it. There it is. I had hair stuck in there, girls. I did a workout before the live and washed my hair real quick and dried it, and I must have had a hair hanging somewhere. I love doing it. I don't know if any of you work out or anything like that. I do like to work out. I always have. But I've just recently, probably in the last 6 months, started doing the Apple workouts that come with the Apple Watch. And those weightlifting workouts are awesome. They're really amazing. Yes, on the 7th. It's going to be 6, 7, and 8. I'll be the last one. I don't know what the other girls designed. Mine is really cute and kind of nostalgic. So that will be fun. I think so. I went back and forth between a lot of different things, and I finally settled on that. Okay, so we've got 2 coats of the Galaxy glitter there, and you can just see how it adds a lot of, like, that's not all white back there. That's sparkle. See the sparkle in the house and stuff. It adds a lot of sparkle. So let's give that a nice dry. We'll give it a nice dry here. And we'll add our Mod Podge. And you can use Distress, like the rock candy, which is a finer snow, or you can use the Diamond Dust, which can cut you. You have to be careful with the Diamond Dust. So let's give it a nice little dry there. Nothing like watching paint dry, right? Thank you, Judy. I appreciate that. And we certainly appreciate everybody who's joined us, who's helped us grow, who sprinkled us, who shared a kit, bought a kit, promoted us. We appreciate you all. And I know some of you, so I would make sure if you're doing this in hindsight, and I'm sure it's what I did, make sure that you put your Galaxy glitter on, then put, if you bought the glossy accents, yes, it gives it a really sparkly, glassy appearance. So then my last thought when I was doing it, I came back and I thought, well, that would be kind of cool. Let me make sure I have my brush rinsed out real good. My water's getting a little muddy over here. And let's put some, you shake the globe and the snow settles at the bottom of the globe. Now you could take like, maybe dot Mod Podge a couple different places and put Diamond Dust or whatever you're going to use. If you're going to use Diamond Dust or Mod Podge, I'm going to put a little Mod Podge right there. And I'm going to, well, I must have put it on some brown paint. That's why I said I got to get a new, Never Fear Girls. If I can find have one of my grandkids had my, well, somebody must have had my wet wipes because they are missing in action. I don't know if I have a wet one here or not. I don't know where they went. Oh, here they are. Okay, so get a wet wipe real quick and just wipe that mistake off. Not a biggie. So I must have, that's why I need a new plate. See, I put that Mod Podge. I thought that was dried brown paint. I reuse my plates too many times too. Okay, so this is a brand new, I know everything on here's dry. So let's rinse that brand out and try this again. Save yourself some headaches. Don't do what I do sometimes. Thank you, Patricia. I appreciate that. Okay, so I think I got it there. And I do have a little water on my brush. I do like to thin Mod Podge a little bit. So I'm kind of drawing it down here on an angle. But bringing it up. Just kind of at an angle. You know, like it's settled down there in the curve of your globe, and then you can give it a big shake. And then you're going to take your, whatever you want to use, your diamond dust, or let me get a piece of paper here. You want to make sure that you have like something underneath it so you can put it back. I think it was Mary Lou that told me last time she has a glitter tray, which I had never heard of, which sounds absolutely awesome. So I'm going to use my diamond dust again. It really is glittery, but like I said, you can also use the rock candy, which is, and rock candy is super cool because you can dye it too with like alcohol inks. Not that you'd want to really dye it for the snow. Where's my spoon? I have a spoon out here. These grandkids, they get in my stuff. And move it out. I don't really want to, well, it's much easier to use a spoon. And just dump it on the Mod Podge. But I'm doing it over this piece of paper because I will dump it back in there. I would normally use a spoon on this. And then you can let it slide off. And I'm going to need some more down here. So I'm going to put this back in the glitter glass, the diamond dust. And I'm going to put a nice, I've got too much stuff here, I can't find my brush. I'm going to get another brush because I don't know where that one went. And I'm going to get some Mod Podge. It was in the tray, of course it was. So I'm going to get some Mod Podge, and I'm going to put some more, and Mod Podge dries clear down here where it didn't adhere. I'm going to have to get one of those, Mary Lou. So give it just a minute. And let's put it back in here. And I'm not sure why. Be really careful when you're working with this, because it can cut you. Now, my last one, I did a much better job on it, and I just got some down here like it had settled down there, if you can see. This has gone a little further up into here. And I do want to put just a little bit more right there where it didn't adhere. But you could add you could add the diamond dust everywhere. Don't want to, yeah, I don't know where my spoon is. And then you just let it dry. It's very messy. There, we got it on the edges because there was a little part right there that, there. So that's how you use the diamond dust. I didn't want to get any on that. Let me just get it, move this out of the way for a minute. I think I'll ask for Christmas. I'm going to be like, I need a glitter tray. Okay, so let me set that aside. Thank you, Mary Lee. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Bronwyn. Oh, that's so exciting. I love that you paint with your friends. So I'll bring it back now. And we're going to want to leave. And I would, when you do this, like take a couple minutes, like do the painting, do your galaxy glitter, the varnish. Let that dry good. I'm doing this on like a let's get this done kind of thing. Then come back and maybe do your dimensional paint and let that dry real good. And then come back and do this. So do it in steps so you'll have a lot more time to let stuff dry in between. And you should have gotten a tube of glue also with this. And this glue is really good. I wonder where my other tube is. And you just need, you know, like a couple of, but we thought this was such a cute addition. You know, it's kind of plain without it, but Heather found these on Amazon and we just thought they were adorable. And I think they have other different kinds. And I'm going to flip it over and I want it to go with the little curly cues going up. Ah, my fingers are sticking together. And then just put it down. Hopefully I'm getting it straight. I'm doing it upside down, but it looks pretty straight. And it pretty much glues instantly because my fingers were just about glued together. And you'll get more than like the one use out of it. Oh, I forgot you got a puppy. That's so exciting, Bronwyn. It's a lot of work though. It's an awful lot of work. Okay, I'm going to get my brush again and I'm going to dry it out. And I do want to add my last thing I'm going to do. And then we will pick our winner. And I did, whoop, not my glorious gold. Thank you, Bronwyn. And thank you everyone for tuning in. Oh, my Rub and Buff, that's what I want to get. I did take a little bit of the Rub and Buff, and you could even do it up here if you wanted. And I got it on my paintbrush, and I just kind of dry brushed it around the edges. Just real lightly. And it really just adds another little notch. And just a little bit of this goes a long way. And like I said, they do have silver, and the silver is beautiful too. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was something that you'll enjoy doing. Like I said, I would let the last parts, I would do the varnish, let it dry really good, maybe even overnight, then come back and do the little dimensional things, and then come back and do the snow. But that is it. So you can see how you've got the snow in your globe down there, and see how that gold just added a little touch of elegance around the sides. And if you didn't get this, oh, thank you, Angelia. It'll be available on replay. But the stencil, April just listed it today. So if you did miss the stencil, you can order the stencil. This would look lovely on a round hanging on your door as well. So this is it. Now, Heather and I did not plan, I still have diamond dust falling off. We did not plan a project for next month. We are taking the month of December off, December and January. It's been an awful lot for Heather because she has to do all the cutting on her own because she does the shipping. And so we're going to we want to enjoy the holidays with our family and stuff like that. Yes, Angelia, it was a kit that we had available. The stencil is now available on the Stencil Smith, so you can get that there separately now. It wasn't listed until now. My sister has PDFs. I don't think she's going to cut anything the month of December, but I'm sure she's going to put a PDF up if she hasn't already for this design, so you could cut your own if you have a scroll saw. And the inlays were bought on Amazon, these wood inlays. So, well, thank you, Gay. I appreciate that. We really enjoyed, this has been my favorite kit to make besides our first one, because it was just really special. But let me set it aside for just a moment. And Heather already did pull the winner every month. Now, of course, we don't have a stencil to go with it. Yes, we have had an extremely busy year. And so we're going to take December and January off, but we are still pulling a winner. You will not get a stencil, but this is what you're going to be getting. We already did pull a winner. What am I saying? Heather did it before she went on her little trip. I don't know if she's there yet or not. I wish I could tell you girls. It's so fun. It's kind of cool that her husband would do that too. Let me find the giveaway. I got to find what I did with it, guys. And it is a wooden cutting board, but there is no stencil that comes with it. But so the winner, which we drew ahead of time, she drew right before the live because she couldn't draw it now, but is Fran Spalding. So Fran Spalding, you are the winner, and this is what you're going to receive. It's a cutting board heart, and it's going to come with a heart cutout. Now, will Heather offer these? I don't know, in February or something like that, because she is taking January and December off. I don't know, but she'll probably have PDFs up. And the little heart sits really nicely. Well, you can't see it because it's not in the camera, but it sits really nicely for a conversation heart. So, Fran Spalding, you are the winner. And it's actually just the cutout from this, and she cut a little bit off to make it sit flat. But this is absolutely beautiful, and it's made from the same material as the previous things we've done, which is the premium pine from Lowe's, which is all we use now. So again, I thank everybody for joining. Thank you for supporting us. We appreciate it so much. But we'll have a post tomorrow, and we're just going to take the month off. It's really hard maintaining 2 pages too, even though there's 2 of us. I had no idea how hard it would be. But I'll still be on Chardon Sign Check. I think Heather's actually taking the whole month off of Sawdust Dogs too. She's not going to be posting. She's just like, I need a break. And she wants to, you know, have a nice holiday and stuff. The boys are home from college and everything. But I hope everybody has a beautiful Christmas. I hope you'll join me on Chardon Sign Check on Tuesdays. And Fran, congratulations. And we appreciate you all so much. I wish Heather could be here. I know she's so very thankful too. We appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the new year. But we just need a little break. But I'll see most of you if you want to join me on Tuesday with the Stencil Smith at 4 o'clock. I have a really cute tray planned for Tuesday, so I'm real excited about it. So we'll see you then, and you girls have a great Sunday. We're having leftovers tonight, which is the best thing of all. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Okay, thank you. So, and you know what, on our post tomorrow, we're probably gonna, I think tomorrow's December 1st, so we'll be posting that we're taking a break. But we would still love for you to post your pictures of your snow globes in there when you're done. We'd love to see everybody's. You thought it was 4 EST. Yeah, it was at 4 EST. It's been a long live. I knew it would be long. You can watch it on replay, Christina. Yes, you absolutely can. But yes, it did start at 4. It's just been a super long. So thank you for hanging with me too. Golly, I appreciate it. Thank you, Mary Lou. Thank you, Bronwyn, Christina. Thank you, everyone. Cheryl, Vicky, Judy, Donna, Angelia. Where did you go? Bonnie. But thank you all. We appreciate it. And I'm going to go in and get some dinner. And you girls have a great Sunday evening. Bye-bye.